It's 1945. Japan surrenders. World War II is over, and Japanese troops pull out of Vietnam. Vietnam declares itself finally free. But France had no intention of letting them stay free. So just 3 weeks after the war ends, French soldiers seize the south of Vietnam. And the French install this guy back in power over the south, a puppet ruler who answers to the French. The same puppet who ran Vietnam before World War II. But up in the free north, this guy refuses to accept any of it. This guy was Ho Chi Minh, and he had an army ready to fight. Well, after nearly a decade of war, his scrappy army corners the French and forces them to surrender, raising the Vietnamese flag over the French command post. So you'd think that would finally make Vietnam free, right? Well, the world didn't work that way. Small countries don't get to make those calls. So 5 major powers, the US, the UK, France, the Soviet Union, and China, all sit down together in Switzerland to sort this out. Well, they negotiate what they consider a fair deal called the Geneva Accords. Essentially, Vietnam would be temporarily split into North and South, and the Vietnamese people would hold an election to decide who gets to lead the whole country. Would it be the French puppet in the south, or Ho Chi Minh from the free north? Well, Ho Chi Minh's side already feels cheated, because they had just fought off their French colonizers and won. Ho Chi Minh reluctantly accepts the terms because the Vietnamese people adore him, so he's going to win the vote regardless. Well, here's the problem. America knows this too, and America has an issue with it, because Ho Chi Minh is a communist. But they also know that no one in Vietnam is going to vote for a French puppet. Well, let's just say America does what America does. The French puppet gets removed from power, don't worry about the details, and a new leader gets installed in the South. And surprise, he's essentially an American puppet. But the issue was that this guy was so ruthless, so deeply unpopular, and so transparently controlled by America that he was still going to lose the election. So he simply cancels it, declares that he'll rule the south of Vietnam on his own, and the US supports him with military force and money. The North is furious. They spent 9 years driving out the French, were told to hold an election instead, and now they're being told the election is off? Hundreds of thousands of enraged Vietnamese men and women came together to form an insurgency that America would call the Viet Cong. This group was extremely effective, deeply motivated, and determined to reclaim their country by force. They begin launching guerrilla strikes against the southern government, and the southern government can barely defend itself. Its military is corrupt, unmotivated, poorly trained, and falling apart from within. And it has almost no popular support, even among southerners. America decides it has to intervene directly now, to prop up the southern government, or else another country falls to communism. So American leaders send 3 million young American men across the world to fight in Vietnam. Well, the American youth eventually rise up in protest. They see it as an unjust war. So after nearly a decade of devastating combat, American forces pull out. And just 2 years later, the southern government collapses. The North finally reunifies all of Vietnam. Finally, after over a century of resisting French colonizers, then Japanese occupiers, then French colonizers again, then American occupiers, finally, Vietnam is free.